Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy with Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod. Joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we are live on a Sunday afternoon, ready to do some podcasting. Karen is fresh off of going to the Hornets game with my dad. Um,
Yay!
we took a L against the Magic. I watched it too, but on League Pass. And man, I don't know what happened in that. What happened down the stretch? We started off good.
Yes. I went to the game. Like I said, this is an early game. I normally go with your mom, but your dad opted to go this time, so which was cool. He came by and picked me up, and we rode out to the game. And your dad was like super early, so we was there like almost an hour before the game, which was fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually glad we went an hour before the game because when we got there, I think that if the game wasn't sold out, it was really close to being sold out.
Yeah, it's a Sunday afternoon, so people probably had a time off to go.
Right. And so when we walked up there, cause your daddy ain't used to roll with a baller and a player like me. So so I took care of the old man. I took him to the parking spot. I was like, we park here because I'm lazy and I want to be right across from the stadium. I don't like to be fighting no traffic. Get in, get out, bitch. And so I got you, my nigga. Park. I'll pay for it. I don't care what the cost. I was flossing. I was like, I don't care. And I'm like,
Flossing on my credit card. I know I'm gonna get the bill, but
oh yeah, oh yeah. Now I ain't say who money I was flossing on. I just said I was flossing for him.
it's all ours anyway.
right. So yeah, I'm flossing on your money. And so the thing is, Roger's parents, for most people know, but me and Roger been together since we were 16. So Roger's parents, I love Roger's parents very, very dearly. They're some of the best in-laws I could ever ask for. I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful and I am blessed to have them in my life. I hear people talk about their in-laws and how they fall out, but can't relate. I don't know nothing about them problems. I can't relate at all. My in-laws are like the best in the whole wide world. I could not ask for better in-laws. And so I remember one time when I had my car, my mama paid for the car payments, but for any maintenance, anything like that, she was like, you gotta take, take care of the maintenance and stuff like that, which was fine. Single mama, she ain't got no lot of money. I'm working, working in school. I ain't got no lot of money. And so one time I forgot it was something major that it really wasn't major, but it was shit. It was expensive to me. It was like a few $100s. And I was like, I ain't got no few $100s to get this bitch fixed. And so your daddy and mama was nice enough to be like, you know what, we got you. We'll take, care of it. I was like, cool. I was like, I'll pay you back. Cool. So after they got it fixed and stuff, I was like, well, I'll pay you back. And they was like, don't worry about it. They was like, we got you. They was like, you keep going to school, you keep making good grades, you keep graduating, and you graduate and things like that. They was like, that is the return on our investment. Right. And so, I've always loved your parents for being such giving and caring and kind-hearted people. Because I'm not their child. That's something that they were not obligated to do. Mm-hmm. And so I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful that they were in a financial situation that they could afford to do that, because a lot of people, they can't, particularly being Black, we don't have generational wealth. And right. So it's, or if you do, you're on the first, second, or third generation, of any form of generational wealth. And so I was very grateful for that. So it's one of the things when it comes to your parents. I mean, and I love my family. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to your mom and daddy, anything they want and I got it and I can do, I will go above and beyond, because they took care of me when I did not have and could not have and couldn't repay them back. And so for me to be in a situation where, for those of you who don't know, me and Roger has been Hornets fans since like 1988. Like when I was like 10 years old when they first started. It's my only basketball team that I've ever loved all my life. I found the love of basketball through one of my aunts, my Aunt Chris. And I remember being small and used to sit down and we used to watch my family crowd around one of them small TVs, one of them small TVs, and we was watch like the college basketball games. And this is why I thought Georgetown was black, was the HBCU. So we used to watch Georgetown, we used to watch Johnson C. Smith University. So we would watch like a lot of HBCUs. And so I used to sit and this is before I could understand the concept of basketball, but I used to sit and watch the kids play ball. And I used to see the caring and the loving that they had in their hearts towards the children that were playing at the time. And so it would just be fun just to watch them do all these things and just the emotion around it. So it got me into the love of basketball. So when the Hornets came back in 1988, I was so excited. They actually the old Coliseum is up the street from my old Aunt Chris's house. And so what we did when they was actually building on it, they used to have because you know this was out in the sticks. It wasn't downtown where it is now. It was out in the sticks. And so this is when you know you would go outside, you see coyotes and foxes and shit, you know, walking around because it was trees, it was forest. And so me and my Aunt Chris and my cousin Maurice would get in the car. And I know we would be breaking the law. They would like pave the roads, you know, because would have to pave the roads in front of the old Coliseum so that people could drive down it, you know, for construction reasons and shit like that. So as the Coliseum was being built, we would actually get in her car and like move the barriers and like ride down the road to see the Coliseum like periodically, like as it you know began to be built and things like that. And
Mhm.
so it just brought my love and my joy for basketball and the Hornets. And me and Roger used to go to the games and we you know we used to do when we couldn't afford it, we used to do like the $5 seats. Well, we would be like up in the nosebleeds and we would do the Mavericks owner used to say, "Hey, if you come to the games and show like Mavericks gear or say I like the Mavericks, you can get in the games for free." So me and Roger used to do that when the Mavericks would come to town to get into the games for free. So me and Roger have been like when we was broke, we was like, but we want to go to these games, bitch. And so we would, you know, do things to go to the games. And so you know, all my life I have wanted to be a season ticket holder, you know, because you hear about it, but I was like, I can never afford that.
Well,
Like
we still not season ticket holders. I think we have like a half
half
season
season.
plan.
Yeah, but
So we even got a ways to go to even do that.
right, but it was one of these things where for me, even half a season, bitch, that's better
Yeah,
than before. So for me,
absolutely.
I was like, you know what? I can afford a half a season. I was like, nigga, I made it. Like not
Mhm.
it. I actually take small victories as big wins. You know, a lot of people they look at the big goals. Okay, the big goals are great, but bitch, appreciate the small ones too, because the small ones add up to big ones. So for me, I was like, this is something that we can do. And so, with you being out of town and stuff, the bulk of the time I've been going with your mom, and me and your mom,
Right.
we've been having a great time. But I have been wanting to go with your dad, and normally, you know, your dad, he always doing something, fishing or something like that.
Yeah,
But
he's
he
always
was
working and stuff.
right. So
I think he's only been the one with me too. Like, because I try to, you know, when I was able to be in town the whole season, you know, I'll try to like, you know, take Justin, take my brother, take my dad, take my mom, you know, stuff like, you know, make sure that we spread them around to people.
right.
But I'm glad he got a chance to go, and I know Van Carroll is a Duke. A kid that went to Duke, so he's had my dad's a Duke fan, so I'm sure he enjoyed getting to see him. And then they won, so he got to see his Duke player win. And then also Mark Williams, the center for the Hornets, went to Duke as well, so he got to see him play. So I'm just glad y'all got to have a good time. I know we about to go down 30-minute Hornets history lane right now. I just kind of wanted to get the show back on track. I'll let you wrap it up. I'll let you wrap it up with the final thoughts, Miss. You want y'all to know before the show started, she texted me before the show. She texted me, "Oh, we do a show. It don't have to be long. Just and then 30 minutes horror talk to start off before we get into topics. Keep going. I'm sorry.
this, this, this is Karen with your Hornets minute.
This is a setup. That's
Your
what this
Hornet,
was.
Hornet section.
In 1987, nah, used to go by the arena with we would walk
See,
around.
I'm officially old. I'm going down memory lane. I know somebody back there going, bitch, I wasn't born in 1988. The fuck she talking about,
The
Grandma?
scene was Charlotte, North Carolina, 19. I just wanted to know how y'all enjoyed the game. That's what this is for. I know the
well,
people left
well,
it.
well, I thank you for letting this old woman go down memory lane. I'm almost finished with my story. Um, And so I said that to say this as far as why I took your daddy to the game, and I was like, look, big baller got it, because I found it,
Mhm,
because because I started remembering that. That's what took me down memory lane about how your mom and daddy took care of me and stuff like that. So
mhm.
we walked up there. It was this long ass line to go to the general entrance, and I seen that line, and I looked at your dad. Oh, we ain't waiting in that line. He said we ain't got to wait. I was like, we ain't got to wait in that line. So went over there. We went over to the other side to the express lane, to the members lane. I was like, come on over here with me. Walk past all the brokers and come on over here with me. So me and him, we walked past everybody and went on in and rode the elevator and all that stuff. And I was like, well, just so you know, a meal comes with it. He said, well, I'm not hungry. I said, well, come on over here with me anyway. Look, you might want to pick up something. So he got some coffee. And
Mhm.
me and him had a great time. We had a real good time. Oh, and they did brunch. So how did
Oh,
they? So because normally we go doing dinner time.
yeah.
And so I guess with us going so early, they did brunch. How did they have some chicken and waffles that was absolutely
Oh
delicious?
no, not the racist chicken and waffles. Oh my goodness.
Yes, honey.
Did you get upset and complain to some white people?
I did not. You know what I did? I shucked and jived my ass right on up there and was like, yes, ma'am. Yes, please. Can a sister have some chicken and waffles? Yes, put some maple syrup on that bitch. And I ate and had myself a good ass time. They had biscuits and gravy. Honey, I was eating it up. I had myself a
Mhm.
ball.
It's the
So
best.
me and your daddy, we sat down, and the whole time it was hilarious because every 5 minutes he was like, that dude played for Duke. And that dude played for Duke. Did I tell you he played for Duke? And your dad was like, I'm gonna tell you the whole time somebody played for Duke. He said, did I tell you something? So that was a running joke the whole game. He was
Yep.
pointing at everybody to play for Duke. We
Yeah.
had a
Shout out to Cole Anthony played for Carolina. He was out there too, but it's all
yeah,
good.
your dad will point that out. Duke players, Carolina players, and so we
Mhm.
had a really really good time. I hate the day that they lost. They
Yeah.
like collapsed. But we had a really really I had a
Good.
great time kicking it with your dad, going up there with them, leaving with them, and stuff like that. I had a wonderful time, and I'm really glad that he got to go and experience the game with me.
Yeah. Melo had a good game too.
Oh,
So
yes, he did. He was balling and shooters gonna shoot. So I was, and he didn't get that much foul trouble. I'm like, let's go, Melo. Because the thing about him
yeah,
is that he gets in foul trouble, and once he do, it affects the floor of the game. Because he's like a
he's been
big
doing a
piece of
good
game.
he's been doing a good job of staying out of foul trouble lately. And so yeah, I'm glad y'all had a good time. All right. Let's get into the show. Oh wait, I forgot. I got one question for the audience to me. It's from Jawan, who says, "Hey Rod, quick question if you can speak on it. Have you been approached or been looking into continuing writing for HBO other than game theory? And a follow up, would you consider moving up to directing? I don't know enough about directing to say those aren't necessarily my aspirations. Um, but I don't know. I wouldn't turn anything down because who knows? Maybe I'll be good at it. Same thing with writing is one of those things where I think uh it's been surprising to a lot of people how good I am at it. Um and I would guess a lot of people think I'm good at it because it's Bomani, which isn't necessarily wrong, but and not to sound arrogant or whatever, but I truly am confident and believe this. I think I would have been good writing for anybody. You know what I mean? Like I know Bomani's voice, so it's easier to write things towards where I think he would take it. But I've been watching so much TV and stuff. I've been a creative person. This show being live and us creating content on the fly 5 days a week is really the fucking like um it's like that if you ever watch Dragon Ball Z, it's like when Goku and them go into that one thing that's like a time
Mhm,
like a
yeah,
like
like a
it's a
time chamber. Yeah, man,
yeah,
like
and
yeah, and they come out like super strong. It's been like I've been in there 75 years. Yeah,
so I feel like this show is that because we entertain, think, and react on the fly 5 days a week. And I think the only thing was that when you haven't done something, you still have to be able to harness that ability and learn the new skills. And I be learning. I'm hungry to learn. I'm not really looking at this shit the same way as someone that's making a career of it. Because I haven't really considered making a career of it, to be honest. I'm kind of along for the ride to see what happens, but I've made great connections with people. People love working with me. And whenever there's an opportunity to learn, I don't even look at it like nothing negative. I look at it as positive. Like, I haven't been in the game long enough, and hopefully I never will get to this point, but to like look at the bad part of stuff. Like the other day we did a focus group thing, which hopefully it makes the show. There's a lot of stuff that's not in your control, but
right,
I wrote this thing, this idea. They're gonna use it. They filmed it, and the thing is, I had to work a full day at the office, and then from 5 to 10, and it ended up being like 11. But from 5 to 10 that weeknight, it was like a Wednesday, or yeah, I think it was a Wednesday. I went to watch them film it and to see if I could like suggest things on the fly, see if we were getting good answers, see if we could find a landing thing. And of course, like, we have all these people who's done this before, whose main job is to do this, who are in their own respective arenas, amazing at the job. So I'm sitting there watching them, and I'm really learning from them. Like, they were thinking like, I know it's hard, I know it's boring, and da, but I'm like, okay, what I'm learning is how a field director directs a field piece, and the things that are good, and the things that are frustrating, and the things that you have to do to be good at it. You see what I'm
right,
saying? So like, while they're thinking I'm there bored or something, or being like, man, fuck, I wish I could just go home. I'm like, okay, I'm glad I stayed because I learned something about a different scenario. I learned something about how they film these things for other shows. So anyway, I felt that way last year too. So I'm still just trying to learn as much as I can. I don't know where these skills honestly do. These skills may come into play for us before they come into play for somebody doing some shit for us. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we wherever we want to take our show and our shit and be creative with it, um, not that I'm some level of expert now, but now I understand the concept of what it is to film something live and be having people in your ear back here with suggestions, talking to people on the screen, how things look, stuff like that. But even if I were to have to hire somebody to do something, now I know what to be looking for in the kind of people you hire. Cause I'm like, I saw this dude do this shit in real time and he was kicking ass, and like, I wouldn't want to work with somebody that couldn't do that. And he was able to like take commandeer. He was able to keep everybody calm, but he was also able to like have great ideas. The people that assist him, learning what they do, how they keep shit organized. Like, it's hella. It's a lot of stuff I'm learning. So anyway, I haven't really looked into continuing to write. I do have ideas for stuff all the time, but I haven't really been like writing pilots and stuff like that because I'm not 1000% sure that this is something I would like to do forever or even for a long time. There's things about it where, having to live in like New York or LA is not necessarily my comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? No offense to the people that love it here. And making the podcast is the thing I love the most, and so as long as I have that, I feel like I'll be all right. But I don't think I'm ready to just like swing to another vine and either leave this behind or let this fall back too much, So, but at the same time, I say all that I'm open to anything. So I'm not gonna say no in my mind before something happens. So if everything is a bridge you cross when you get there. So if somebody comes to us and says, "Hey, next year we want fucking 30 shows," and that means I got to come up here and like fucking live for real, then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Mhm.
Whatever that decision is.
Right.
If someone if something happens and it's like, okay, well, we're not gonna bring this show back, but some of the people within this get another opportunity somewhere else and they think of me, that's something I would consider. Whereas so basically I'm just leaving the doors open right now, and I'm just trying
Mhm.
to do the best job and stay in the moment rather than get too far ahead of myself or too far behind, because that's where anxiety comes in. And
Right.
anxiety is a lot of wasted energy thinking about the shit you can't change and going in the past, or stuff that's not even here yet in the future. So as of right now, I'm just staying in the moment, trying to write the hottest fucking shit I can write on a daily basis, trying to make sure I do a good job, trying to make sure that I can be depended upon and counted on, and that people know that. And I think a lot of this stuff will take care of itself. All right. That was that question. If you have questions for an audience, feel free to ask them. But I'm gonna go ahead and move us on into the news segments. I forgot to check to see how much coronavirus news we got. Please don't be a lot. Good God. Um,
Coronavirus is like, can't stop,
okay,
won't stop. I'm still here.
it's only a couple things, but
Okay.
I'll go ahead and do this segment. Then we'll get into other
Again?
shit.
Look, here we go again. We got variants. Really need to keep a mask on hand and follow the plan. Get the vaccine and second shots, whether woman or man. Black out who tips is doing their part, but the dumbest expand. Niggas would rather believe a bunch of misinformation. Fuck y'all idiots not getting shots. Now we gotta regress. If we keep going in this direction, we never can rest. Never can get back to the lives we be living the best. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the intubation crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. Damn fool, stop the lying, stop the ventilator crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. I do not understand this shit, I'm not a fan of this. We were like one win from the pandemic championship, but fuckers wanna leave it to game 7 with Giannis Delta Kumpo blocking forward progression and Chris middle fingers to your plans, man. Damn. Looks like it's no Drew holiday for you and your mans. I'm sick of black people dying for real, so I'm just writing this new piece to let you know how I feel. Coronavirus, fuck that COVID-19 is unseen, it's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah. So fuck that COVID-19 is unseen, it's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah.
Coronavirus. All right, it's really just two quick stories, but we haven't heard that jam in a while, guys. Okay,
Come
just
on. It's a bop.
COVID-19 is a leading cause of death for children in the United States, despite relatively low mortality rate.
Mm.
So that thing where people are like, it doesn't hurt kids. Why are we even worried about this? Um,
They'll be all
it,
right.
I mean, it sounds cool if your kid is alive.
Right.
I just think that was one of the things that you even saw like liberal people take on and be like, it's scientific.
Mhm.
And obviously the considerations of the fact we didn't have school just never even came into any level of
Question.
consideration when they would be writing these long ass pieces in the Washington Post. They would never be like, and they just be like, kids aren't even dying from it. They never be like, because kids can't be in school and around each other. So but yeah, of course, a lot of people with families, now that school is back in and now that mask
Mhm.
mandates have mostly dissipated and stuff,
Right.
almost everybody I know with kids have had coronavirus. And
Yes.
it's not some level of like, I'm not being careful. It's just, it's humanity, they're children, and children are already disease farms. Is no way they can avoid it, no matter what the fuck they do. Even if they have a really good kid that wears a mask almost all the time, it's just something's gonna happen just for the randomness of it all. And so you hope that a child doesn't get sick and die, and of course you would expect this to be very low because children just don't die in general at a high rate. Children, that's the thing, very low mortality rate for kids. But unfortunately, coronavirus, COVID, is one of the highest ones for death rate for kids as far as the number.
Right. And like you say, people don't care until it's their child, but when it's your child that is the one that's dead, all of a sudden the numbers ain't just a number no more.
Yes, it was higher than flu and pneumonia. And we know
Oh
flu
no.
actually does, like we say flu and pneumonia affects it has it has that like U-shaped graph of children is very high and older people is very high death
Right.
rate. So the fact that it beat two diseases that we think, oh, these ones can take kids out, after we were told COVID doesn't, it's nothing to kids. Well, if it's nothing, then we're saying the flu and pneumonia is nothing, and I don't think we should. I don't think we would say that. You know what we wouldn't have said that before the pandemic.
Right.
It caused substantially more deaths than any vaccine preventable disease historically, the researchers wrote. And we also know that people aren't vaccinating their kids. Less than 10% of eligible children have gotten their updated booster shot, and more than 90% of children under 5 are completely unvaccinated. So you're talking about a lot of people, parents, the fear, the paranoia, whatever. It was enough to get them to not get their kids vaccinated. It worked. And when you're talking about a number like 90%, we're not talking about conservative, liberal. We're not talking about Democrat, Republican.
Talking about
That's just
most people.
people. That's just people going. Even there's people that got vaccinated and boosted and all that shit themselves that must have said, "Not my kid, though." So
Right.
yeah, these kids is just kind of out here. Good
On
luck.
their own with no control, and they don't have an option. They can't,
Right.
even if they would like to, they don't have an option. They don't have a say so in it if their parents decide no.
Right. And this winter's U.S. COVID surge is fading fast and likely is thanks to a wall of immunity. So that's good. I mean, listen, I don't just
That's
come on here to
good.
report the bad shit. I think one of the things about this segment is that there's at this point you see it around you. You probably experience it yourself. So much of this shit is just confirmation bias. People ignore the shit that goes against what they say. They jump on the shit that even hints towards maybe what they feel is already correct. And in this case, man, I love the good news stuff, which is, hey, it's looking like we're not gonna get the surge that people thought we were gonna get, especially with this most contagious variant of Omicron yet. It's sounding like it's dying off already. No pun, and it's part of my choice of words, but yeah, that's not. It hasn't happened. This virus continues to throw 210-mile-per-hour curveballs at us, and it seems to defy gravity or logic sometimes, says Michael Osterholm, who heads the Center for Infectious Disease Research and Policy at the University of Minnesota. People all assume we will see major transmission. Well, every time we think we have some reason to believe we know what's going on, it doesn't do that. The worst of the surge of COVID, flu, and RSV may be over. While hospitalizations and deaths did increase in the U.S. after New Year's, um, uh, the number of people catching the virus and getting hospitalized and dying from COVID soon started to fall again, and have all been dropping now for weeks. So that's a good thing, because we were really saying like it's going to turn into COVID winter every winter, and it's just going to be bad, and back to mask and staying inside and stuff. And I don't think this was smart or good, but I saw a lot of people didn't go back to masking and social distancing. A lot of people just seem to kind of just go through this like COVID didn't exist. But even with people going through it like that, the numbers fell back down very quickly. And hey, I mean that's the best possible case scenario of people doing stupid shit.
True. True. Yeah. And like, the people who got all their shots and got all their boosters and like current, and you ain't 3 years behind or 2.5 years behind since you had a shot, most of those people, with the exception of few, are going to be okay.
Right.
So I think that right there makes difference. And also we learned that it reduces long COVID, it reduces a lot of stuff. And for some people, it just runs through their system so quick, they don't even know that they got it. They don't even know that they caught it or anything. So, you have a higher probability of that happening to you, or if you do it, it still impacts you, and it still probably, kick your ass, but not like it would if you were not fully vaccinated. And that's actually, in my opinion, actually help keeping these numbers down. Like people that's like, fuck that, I might not be wearing a mask, but bitch, all my shots gonna be updated.
Right. All right. Well, that's it for coronavirus news. I guess we can go ahead and get into some regular ass news. I know people want to hear that. one. Heart too. That was a good one. Good job, Infrared Crypto.
Mhm.
I saw people talking about it in the chat, but I have been making videos on my TikTok. I finally figured out what to use my TikTok for. Because I really didn't want to just have one and just be telling y'all everything all the time. I think doing the podcast enough is that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Just so you have this outlet, right? Which is a lot of times, a lot of people don't have other outlets, right?
yeah. And so I did start using it to highlight, for Black History Month because I wanted to celebrate Black history, but everybody's celebrating. It's so gauche now. And I was like, you know what? I want to celebrate the people that never get celebrated in Black History Month. And those people are the coons. You don't see the coons get a lot of love in Black History Month. It's a lot of like, let's highlight Rosa Parks for the 90 millionth time. Like, nigga, we
Right.
know Rosa Parks was the shit.
Right.
But
Yeah. She's one of the pre-approved Negroes.
when is the last time we celebrated, Jason Whitlock or something? And so um it has been a struggle because I made my first one and it was about Jason Whitlock. As a matter of fact, I'll play it for y'all. Y'all can get an example of what it sounds like on my TikTok when I'm out here, celebrating the culture for everybody.
We don't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Y'all not hearing anything? Okay, give me a
Mm-mm.
second. Hold on. This thing is weird like that. Okay, now it should work. Here we go. Black History Month by recognizing some Black people that don't often go recognized. And today, February 1st, I like to recognize this man, Jason Whitelick. Woo, my bad. Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock, one of the most powerful coons in the game right now. Iconic, okay. Just so capable of coming out from the Caucasus Mountains and just dropping a triple double of coonery at any given time. Okay. He's not the most consistent or consistent. He's not the most consistent coon, but when he goes off, okay, you get a Kobe Bryant 81-point game on your ass, a cooning, okay, a coon be Bryant, if you will. All right, y'all. See you tomorrow. So that's the content I've been creating over there. And each day I celebrate different people. Now, what's been happening though is that my videos have been getting like flagged for harassment, which I've never tagged any of these coons in it or told anybody to go over there and
I
harass
think
any
because they've
people.
been going viral, so people have been seeing them and flagging them
Yeah, so the
and
first
reporting.
one got 17,000 views, which obviously was a high for me because I may have 40 like I don't got nobody following me over there. I only made 2 videos before that and they both was like 30 views or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they got like 17,000 views, which I didn't know it was getting that many because I don't have notifications on that app on my phone. So
Mm-mm.
like I just kept like I shared it on like Twitter and Instagram too, and then people would just be like, "Oh my god, I gotta follow this thing," and I went over there, and it would be like 99 plus comments, 99 plus reactions, and it was just like, "Damn, people really like this." So I did CJ Pearson once again, got a bunch of like 11,000 or something, but then it got flagged again, and so and now here's the thing, I don't think I'm out of line. I'm not harassing anybody, and
Mm-hmm.
I've seen what people say and do on TikTok.
Right.
Like some of these people have TikTok.
Yes,
Like,
they do.
and this is the only issue I have. If Jason Whitlock can have TikTok and say all the shit he says about us, I can't have TikTok and be like, I don't fuck with this guy. That's insane. And so, because at first I was just gonna be like, I must have violated some rules. I'll just accept that they took it down. But I was like, actually, no, motherfuck that shit. So, so I fought it, and they put all the videos back up as of now. We'll see how long they last. But I noticed that the reach is a lot less, so they probably done jail Covand your boy a
They
little bit.
suppressed you.
They done
Mm-hmm.
hit me with that motherfucking shadow ban, which I don't blame them. I wasn't even doing it to go like to be like the famous guy that calls out coons. I really just thought it was like a funny inside joke, and I get to make a lot of coon puns and shit like that. Um, but yeah, this I saw people talking about it in the chat, so I did want to bring it up. Happy Black History Month, and I got many more to go. Okay, we're not done, but if they take my shit down, I just feel like they should take all the Coons pages down, because all they do is antagonize and harass Black people. That's their entire motherfucking existence. So how dare you point me out? But it's okay for them to say we're slaves living on a democratic plantation. It's okay for them to say that we're the sellouts and talk shit about like Barack Obama, talk shit about Bomani, talk shit like, come on now, keep it fair. All right, talk about this news, Karen. Well, we already know Beyonce tickets are coming. Some of them are, I believe, are already out in certain locations.
Yes. They got 4 sections. They got, I think, A, B, C, D, and depending on where your city is will depend on when they go on sale. Yeah, because she actually is working with Ticketmaster, and so she's like, what y'all not gonna do is have y'all shit crash. So we gonna release this shit in sections, so that certain sections can go. And they have in section A, I think it's like Atlanta and like some other big cities. And so what they're doing is like some of them they actually has second shows in some of the locations already. And so in group A, I think Charlotte's like group C. And so bitch, I'm all in everybody's list and pre-selling. I am ready. I'm ready. Let's go, bitch. Let's go.
Well, there's 2 stories out of this that I thought was interesting. The first one is that the Senate of the United States has warned Ticketmaster ahead of Beyonce's ticket sales. We're watching.
Right.
Senate Judiciary Committee on Twitter said, they quote tweeted CNN saying Beyonce announces her world tour, blah, 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 and they quote tweeted and said, we're watching, comma, at Ticketmaster. So the Senate is already on that shit. Like, don't fuck this up. They didn't even say that for Taylor Swift. And then Beyonce fans are asking for money to help pay for the Renaissance tour tickets. Now, this is interesting because a lot of this is rumor mill stuff where people are saying I saw $6,000 tickets, and people are like, 1, no tickets have really been sold yet. 2, you're looking at resellers. Some of these people are reselling shit they haven't even gotten yet.
Right. That's what they were saying. They were saying that I've been reading articles about this. They were saying about that reselling shit. Because people are like, they're already on sale. People are like, they are not on sale. They do not have them. What they're doing is that they're telling you that they have these tickets they don't have, and for a lot of them they don't actually give like ticket seats. They give like areas and shit like that, like a range. And so on the back end they try to go and get the tickets, but they don't actually have the tickets. And somebody in the Congress was like, we're gonna start making this shit illegal. Like, you cannot sell your tickets until they officially go on sale. Stop lying to people.
And Beyonce fans are out here asking for money to help pay for the tickets, starting up GoFundMe's and asking family and friends to give them money to help purchase a ticket to the tour. And I'm like, one, these could be scammers, right? They could be scamming their friends and shit. Like, I'm gonna need $6,000. It's like, well, the tickets ain't on sale yet, and they shouldn't be $6,000. And we'll see what happens, I'm sure. But I just found that to be pretty interesting, like how it's already going down. Because people is all over this Beyonce shit, but they did put out information with her showing like how much tickets should cost. And so it's looking like it was somewhere between like 75 and 250. So I'm sure maybe there's a way that it'll be able to get price gouged, but as of right now, that's not happening.
Right. And so a lot of her venues are like all, in certain areas. I know the one here in Charlotte, I think she went to like the biggest venue we got. She was like, bitch, I'm going to the Carolina Panther Stadium. Yeah. And so, that's one of the biggest ones we have here. And if I'm not mistaken, like in this general area. So it's like an outdoor stadium. And so it's going to be thousands upon thousands of people there. So, I am really, really, really excited because this will be my first time seeing her.
Netflix adjust well, I mean, if we get the tickets, right? Because
that's true. If we get the tickets,
it's 800 times demand.
Yeah, I can see. So I can see the Renaissance and all that stuff. Yeah,
and being so long and stuff. So like, it's it's really gonna be a lot of people just kind of hoping to get lucky in some type of lottery system or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just don't know how, if 800 times as many people, that's great. It's crazy. Good luck to everybody, including us.
Right. I wish you all well in the Hunger Games of getting tickets to the Beyonce show. Come
Listen, I wish Beyonce listened to this podcast so we could get on the list, but I don't think that's
on.
how it works for us. Netflix adjusts password sharing rules after receiving backlash on social media. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and so it leaked, and they then came out and said it's not going. It wasn't true. The rules were essentially you could only watch Netflix in your home or devices that were in your home with it for every 31 days. So basically, if like me, I'm not at home right now, and and I have to be up here for a few months, I would eventually lose access to my own Netflix on my own mobile devices that I have actually paid for.
Right.
And they are now saying these rules only apply to Costa Rica, Peru, and Chile, which then makes me go, I'm sure they like, what, why y'all doing us like this?
Correct.
Like they really brought it up like, oh, that was supposed to be good, but if I'm fucking Chile, I'm like, hey, now that we was over here minding our motherfucking business, and y'all
And all
trying
of
to
a
cover
sudden we
y'all
found out
ass
we on
with
the
us.
list.
Yeah, like y'all trying to cover your ass with us.
Now why am I in it?
But yeah, so it's I thought that was just like an interesting thing, but the rules was just stupid, and I don't know what they're trying to prove. Like, prove that this is your actual child that is using this. To do like, it's too late. It's at this point, it's a feature that you can give someone your password. At this point, you're not really gonna be able to pull it back. Let's just prove y'all fucking. You know, give us
It's
the video evidence of the and chill part of the Netflix and chill night, because you can't use passwords if you just like coworkers.
right. And the thing is, I was talking to them, three guys on. I think they did an Elon Musk math,
Mm,
and that shit don't ever work because a lot of times you good if you get 1/2 of 1% of people to pay. And somebody looked at all them numbers was like, well, we get no, you're not gonna get
right.
10%, you're not gonna get 20%, you will never get it.
Because internally they know exactly how many IP addresses are using subscriptions and stuff. And so I'm sure that some CEO up high was like, if we cut it off, people will just buy their own subscription. It's like, actually, that's not what's going to happen at all. People are going to turn it off. And honestly, if I'm a person who multiple people are using my account, I'm going to stop. Like, I'm going to cancel my account. It's like, oh, well, y'all can't even use it. Shit, that was the whole point, for us all to use it. So it's like, if I'm a parent and my child can't use Netflix at their school anymore when they go to college for a few months, then I'll just cut off the subscription. When they come home, they will start it up again. But it's not going to work the way you think, where my child is going to come up with $15-$20 to give y'all. No. Twitter Blue subscribers will now receive revenue from ads that appear in their reply threads. Here's the problem with this news. Number one, Elon Musk tweeted it, so we don't even know that it's true.
Right.
Like, he's tweeted a lot of ideas that don't come to fruition, and he's well known for like stringing people along with the idea of like, ooh, wouldn't this be cool? And then it just don't happen.
Right. And
There's
advertisers have been leaving left and right and pausing like the fuck.
there's stuff that he said, and they're leaking money too. So like they need the advertising revenue. But
Right.
there's also stuff that he said he was going to do on Twitter that people get outraged about or happy about or bad about, whatever. And it doesn't happen, or it takes so long to happen. Like, I think one of his things was like increasing the amount of characters in a tweet to some ungodly number, and I still don't think that's happened.
It hasn't.
Yeah, so like I think it's like he just needs to be in the news cycle and get people to react. I think he feels like there's a value in that, even though it
Yes.
hasn't turned into an actual value in his pocket or in the shares or in the stock market. But yeah, this idea is, of course, in my opinion, the only good idea he seems to have had yet, which is something he should have started with. And I think if he had started this way, instead of treating people on Twitter as the enemy and with animosity, if he had said, we're gonna start revenue sharing with the users of Twitter, that shit would have changed everything from day one. But
Mm-hmm.
he burned every bridge, pissed off at least half the people, if not way more, because Twitter's a very liberal space, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
He pissed off so many people. I just don't think it's salvageable. But yeah, I saw this idea and was like, those are my main thoughts. Is it even gonna happen? And two, uh, this is the wrong time. Like he should have been like on this shit from day one. All right. You can now get ticketed for having a loud car thanks to sound measuring meters on traffic cameras.
The fuck that got to do with anything?
Yeah. In many cities, noise ordinances apply to anything from loud parties to construction zones and vehicles. Police can measure your exhaust noise using a decibel meter. If your car is too loud, you can get stopped and given a ticket. But now they want to do it with the Sleep Act, Stop Loud and Excessive Exhaust Pollution Act. Is they want to increase enforcement against motorists and repair shops that illegally modify mufflers and exhaust systems to make them excessively noisy. And of course, this trial launched last year in New York City, which has strict noise ordinances to use traffic cameras fitted with sound meters to monitor and ticket loud motorcycles and cars. The reason I'm 100% against this in because there was a craze like this probably in the 90s, 2000s, I remember, with speed cameras and stoplight cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And so many cities around the US signed these contracts with these people that were going to provide the cameras, and they would say like, oh, we're going to provide the cameras for free and they'll create revenue for the city and shit. And eventually what happened in all of them, at some point the city gets hit with a bill because they have to pay this shit. And someone has to manage these cameras and collect all this, and they don't pay it. And then the fucking program goes away.
Yes.
So it's just a bunch of money spent for a bunch of bullshit. Then it doesn't make, and also statistically, it doesn't make anybody safer. It leads to more accidents at intersections and stoplights.
Yep, because people to look up, and they said they had an increase of people looking up, stopping halfway through the intersections,
Right.
looking up and causing fucking wrecks because they're like, oh shit. And normally when they would have went through, the person behind them would have went through, they slam on brakes, the person hit them, and then you got a motherfucking wreck.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the things that I thought of when I saw this was this shit is not going to work. But yeah, currently the program is only being tested in New York City.
Yeah, and it's racist because all of a sudden somebody goes around, make it go off their music too loud. Next thing you know, they got a ticket. Well, bitch, I don't got no mufflers. Well, you made it go off. I don't want to hear that. You're dealing with computers.
Yeah, only 71 people have gotten ticketed so far. And my guess is they spent all that fucking money for 71 tickets and it won't be enough to pay for the program. Right. And they're going to end up having to cancel the shit anyway. Like that's what happens that's what happens anyway. Like the thing that tricks people is that on its face, it sounds like a good idea because you go, yeah, I think it's too loud where I live, or people do need to stop all that damn noise, and then they do the shit. The noise never stops. The tickets never really get handed out to enough people or whatever. The money isn't really collected. They don't pay the company to monitor it. And now you just have a big ass bill that the city owes somebody and a bunch of tax money that you fucking went to this program that you'll never that didn't help anybody. Right. If it worked, I think you would see people be like, yeah, I think a lot of people, especially if you live in a place where people are just like disrespectfully loud all the time, it would work, but I mean, it would be, you'd be on board with it, but it just don't work. So good luck to those folks. Let's see. I don't even really want to talk about this fucking Chinese balloon, so I'm just gonna delete these articles. I'm like, I don't care. Let me know when it's some real shit. You know what I mean?
For real though.
Like maybe I watched too many movies, but I'm like, did something blow up or like I don't care either way. A woman reignites the plane seat debate after she refuses to give up her window seat to a fellow passenger so that passenger could sit with their son, who was 6'5". No word on if it was Barron Trump or not, but this 23-year-old TikToker said she was in the middle of a seat swap nightmare after she was approached by a mom on a flight. According to her, she was subjected to unpleasant behavior. In a video, the woman's name is Surya Garg. Okay. Surya details how a mom came up to her and asked her if she could give up her window seat, which she had paid extra for, so that she could sit with her son, who had to be a minimum of 16 to 17 years old. When she asked where the woman wanted her to move, she was directed to a middle seat, like a couple rows back. Um, then, when she asked who the woman's son was, she was shocked to discover he was not a child, but like a 6'5" man. Saria said she didn't really know what to say to the mom at this point and didn't want to look like an asshole. However, she decided to decline the woman's request and explain to her that she had paid extra for the seat. After being told no, she said the mom made the nastiest face at me as I've ever experienced, and then went about muttering profanities at me for the entirety of the flight. Baffled by the experience, she asked fellow TikTokers, "Was I wrong here? I need someone to tell me." But a lot of people agree with her, including Expedia, who replied to her TikTok, "Not in the wrong," with the yelling emoji next to it.
No, you're not wrong. You pay for that ticket. You and that thing is, it's your choice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you would have, cool, but you didn't. And this is not like a child. This is a grown person.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if there was something where, maybe the adult needed assistance or something like that, that'd been a whole nother thing. But if this is a functioning normal adult, no, I paid extra for this seat, bitch. You're just gonna have to be back there and be mad when we land. Y'all can get back together again. Nobody will die.
Yeah, especially in a situation where it's adults. So I really like you're not talking about like a child where it's
Right.
like, oh, maybe their parents need to be next to their child, and you can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I specifically paid for this seat, so it's not like one of these flights where you like first come first serve. So that's another reason I wouldn't do it. And then like the the audacity to have an attitude the whole fucking rest of
An
the flight. That would
attitude
just
when
make me,
you want me to do it. I'm not obligated to.
that would just make me feel like I was right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, you got an attitude the whole fucking time. I'm glad I didn't give you the seat. Fuck you then. You know?
Right. Just complain, bitch. And
Yeah.
next time get a seat beside each other then next time.
So assuming everything's on the up and up with that story, I don't think she was in the wrong at all. I think that was
Mm-mm.
dope that she stood up for herself and didn't give in to the peer pressure. Because a lot of people would have just did that, they're like, oh, I just don't want no problems. Okay, I'll give up my seat. And then you're gonna be sitting there in that for however many hours flying away you flying, thinking like, man, did I just fucking get punked or whatever? Did I just get tricked? Like how the fuck did I end up in this situation? I paid money extra for my seat,
Right.
and
I
here I
won't.
am.
That's somebody like me. I enjoy looking out the window. I know that's not some people's jam, but I actually really enjoy looking out the window and seeing the
Yeah.
clouds and shit. So, for some people, they like those seats for a reason and they paid extra for it. And the thing about the middle, you have no room. Like you're
Yeah.
literally just stuck between two people.
And the fact that and my thing is, if it's that fucking important to you, then get another flight.
Right.
If it's that fucking important to you, or you like, me and my child must sit together, my 6'5", however old child, then get another flight. Then that's your responsibility, not mine. Don't be trying to add me to your audible when you get on the plane. Like, no, nigga, you need to make sure that's your number one priority when you book flights, so that you don't have to be on here running into a motherfucker like me that's not finna move.
Right.
So, all right, let's move into some other stuff. Let me pull up my segments. Let's do a little bit of fucking with black people. I know it's been a little while. But yeah, here we go.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Hey, we're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them people because they black. We're just fucking with them black people. We're just fucking with them blacks. We're just fucking with black people. Hey, hey,
And no, I don't know the race of the woman who asked her to change seats. But if she had a 6'5", 17-year-old son, I'm gonna go with black. All right, the fucking with black people again. We go around the globe, find different articles, and let you know how much we feel fucked with by them. Let's get started. The Tennessee Health Department suspended the license of two EMTs involved in the Tyree Nichols death. And they fired that sixth cop, the white dude, officially as well. So, I mean, Dracarys, I guess, or what, I don't know. It's too raw, it's too real, it's too early. I think everything involved with that story is gonna be Dracarys.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Matt Hoffa, I have not heard of him, but it seems he's a podcaster or something for a podcast called My Expert Opinion. And he went on the Drink Champs podcast.
Okay.
And he apologized to Megan Thee Stallion over his comments after her shooting incident with Tory Lanez.
Okay.
I want to apologize to Megan too, because I saw 50 Cent put out an apology. I want to publicly apologize to Megan because, as black men, we're supposed to protect our women. And I feel like I failed in that category, as the things that I said on my podcast, I just didn't believe. I just didn't believe it. Addressing Meg directly, he continued, "I'm sorry for what you went through. I'm sorry for that coming from a black man. And yeah, I apologize." Now, I never heard his original
statement, me either.
Like,
because I'm like, who? I
yeah.
don't roll circles, so I have no idea.
So I mean, I can only imagine, because there were so many. There were so fucking many dudes that really reveled in like going after her, and a lot of it kind of sounded the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was like just a lot of
people wonder why she took a still on a social media break where she was like, I don't have time for this bullshit.
Yeah, and I think yeah, okay, so it says platforms like, I'm looking up an old article for BET that says black women deserve better. The Joe Budden podcast, DJ Academic, and Matt Hoffa's My Expert Opinion dedicated entire segments to discussing how Megan was violent, promiscuous, and alcoholic, and has done some shady business deals in her disputes with her label 300 Entertainment. The criticisms Megan received outlined a double standard in hip hop that often leaves women on the back burner. Yeah, and that's why that slut shaming stuff may not have worked in the court, but Tory Lanez was trying to win the court of public opinion, and black men, of course, a lot of them could not wait to fucking hop in on that and be like, yeah, fuck whether he shot her or not. It's about the fact that she's a hoe. It's about she's mean to people in a nebulous way that we have no proof.
Never heard of before or anything like that. Nobody, this is all of a sudden this shit come out. As long as she's been in the industry, we're just hearing this quote unquote for the first time.
Yeah, it's like a whisper campaign to like tear down her reputation, and it worked in a lot of places, because I'll say this again, but from day one, I was like, okay, it sounds like he shot her. Even when she wouldn't say it, I was like, I mean, I don't have to be this ain't gotta be true detective for me to be like, this nigga shot her in the foot, and she just, it's clear that she didn't come out and say anything for whatever reason. I mean, she's a young person, and I think when you're young, you say and do stupid shit sometimes. And I'm not saying she did anything deserving to be shot. I'm saying the stupid part was not just immediately being like, this nigga shot me and should go to jail, because there's a lot of complicated stuff. And I think social media has really tricked people into thinking like jail is just, like you wanting someone to go to jail for harming you makes you a bad person or something. And so,
yeah, bitch, I'm a coon. Nigga, go to the goddamn jail. You shot me.
Yeah, and like protecting each other is something that's like low key people weaponize to protect people that are abusive, to be like, we can't have this black man, you're gonna put him in the system,
right? So look, you're gonna hang blackness over my head, kiss my ass.
So maybe she fell for that because she is younger and was in a different space or whatever, and but we literally saw people use that against her. Like, they used her kindness and said, this is proof you did, this is your fault somehow, this is proof that you made this happen. And so anyway, these people were going on their podcast, and they were already express a lot of contrarian opinions in the first place. But one thing a lot of these podcasts have in common is that they're never going to be a space for advocating, protecting, loving, or respecting black women in general. You know, when you see a space that's got black men in it first and foremost, it doesn't mean that they're going to be that way for the whole race. You know, it would be nice if that's what it meant.
It would be
But
nice.
as a person that listens to a lot of podcasts that are hosted by black men, I never expect it to be that way because it almost never is. And if it is that way on that show, it's probably not going to be that popular of a show. It's not going
Right.
to be at the top of the charts because
Mm-mm.
those type of views and those type of black men do not get elevated in that way. Nobody wants to empower them or
Right.
lionize
Nobody want
them.
to hit him in that's talking about compassion and understanding and things, not call them bitches and hoes and females.
Yeah, just the fact that even if you just would have said, yeah, he did it, you know,
Right.
and just like, I don't really want to talk about it. I just think he did it and we'll see it in court. That's not enough, you know? So I'm not shocked that Joe Budden is on the side, was ever on the side of like something is, let's talk bad about Megan Thee Stallion in a case where we're talking about her being shot. Even the fact that he had to apologize is just another like, yeah, because you start at wrong whenever it comes to these women and then you move over to right when the pressure comes in and enough people call you personally or some shit because your default is wrong and you're gonna always be that way. And so I just think it's interesting that the language of protection and all this stuff comes up after the verdict, because what I think the point of a lot of these trials is, and the same thing happened with Bill Cosby and the same thing happened with R. Kelly, motherfuckers turn into the goddamn QAnon conspiracy theory
Right.
until you get that verdict. And once the verdict happens, it's just magical. I don't know how, but even the most contrarian people eventually accept this new reality of like, yeah, they did it. You know, like now I haven't met a dude that thinks R. Kelly is innocent since he got convicted. I haven't met the Bill Cosby apologists and all this shit just died down. Like, I'm not
Right.
even
They
saying
fucking
they don't
disappeared.
exist, because he got out of prison again. And yet
Mm-hmm.
you still don't see the way that it was before, where you couldn't say the words Bill Cosby without somebody coming in. It just don't happen anymore. And it's all because in the court of law they were found guilty, and whether people argue or make conspiracies about it, eventually, not right away, because right away there's like a black man was innocent and was sent to jail, but then like a week or two later it's just like, yeah, that's the dude that did that crime. So anyway, 0 to 100.
Oh, this gets say Jakaris because like I said, and maybe me being a black female on the outside looking in and just looking and being on social media, you know, for a while and just watching everything from the time the video release she got shot until the conviction and all that stuff, like, and everything in between. It's all been a motherfucking shit show, and it's been about everything but her being shot. It's been literally it's been about everything else but that a crime was committed, and these niggas want to talk about every fucking thing else. I don't give a goddamn who she fucked. I don't give a goddamn if they fucked. I
Yeah,
don't care. She was shot.
yeah,
And that is the trial. Everything else is irrelevant, and a lot of this boils down to the war of the sexes, which I motherfucking hate. I hate that bullshit online. It's
mm-hmm.
stupid. It's dumb. Everybody pick their sides and they argue and they work backwards from there. And
Yep,
it's annoying and it's idiotic and it doesn't make sense and everybody gets stupid and you have the extremes, because I understand people having problems with the opposite sex, don't get me wrong, but
right,
online it gets to the fucking worst extremes on both sides. Is the men calling women all types of names, it's the women calling men's all types, like, it is stupid. She got shot, it was a crime. Let's start from here, y'all. All this other bullshit is personal problems that you need to go to Jesus or a therapist or talk to somebody about. That ain't got nothing to do with her being shot.
yeah. And then she took, like, a lot of people are just more upset that she's not on social media and stuff. But honestly, in my highest hopes, I really hope that that's for the best,
Me too.
because I think being always online while you experience joy and you can experience some support and community, a lot of times you also experience a lot of negativity that you wouldn't have if you weren't on there. And so especially when you're at the center of something and you're feeling like um anxiety about it and stuff, the good doesn't always get through. And so all the positive responses in the world doesn't offset that. It resets you every time you look up and here's another podcaster saying how you lied, or here's a respected voice in hip hop shitting on you. You know what I'm saying? And so I can see how she would be like,
Her peers.
yeah, I just hope. I don't we'll never know for sure, or maybe unless she comes back and says something, but I actually hope that the break is good for her. And I know that social media is a big part of careers now, but if there's some type of way she can get a buffer between her and social media, if she doesn't already have that, I hope she does have it, because you could see her reacting to stuff on her Twitter account and stuff where it was clear like she was on her phone tweeting, like why would Drake say this in this rap verse, or stuff like that. So um it's just sad.
Yeah, and I know it has to be very, very frustrating because a lot of this can be very triggering, honestly, to a lot of black women. And because it's like, well, damn, every time something happened to us, y'all don't ever want to swoop in and be like, this nigga wrong. Like, you don't want to call out your peers. You don't
Yeah.
want to be like, this nigga wrong. Yeah, I might not know everything, but I know something's not right.
Mhm.
Or you can be like, well, I'll wait till more evidence come out of anything. It was like, hey, this nigga didn't do shit. This nigga didn't do a motherfucking thing. Or
Yeah.
y'all bitches be, and you be like, well, dog, at least wait till something comes out before we make all these fucking conclusions.
It's also like the Johnny come lately shit of, now that he's been sentenced, I just want to apologize to this black woman. She it's like, nah. And a lot of the stuff I think is even happening because she got a big ass black boyfriend. And so who has been very supportive and shit. And so a lot of this stuff is really about him. Like, it's kind of like people that protect
Respect your
Lauren
property.
London because of Nipsey Hussle, where it's like, oh, now that I see this woman as the property of another black man, I owe him respect, and therefore I owe her respect because I respect him. I think that's a big part of it. I think another thing is, and it's just the way I look at life. I think niggas who lie to fit in and disrespect women to fit in, those are the real cowards. Like, they think they looking like a big man because we're all over here shitting on women together, right, bro? But I'm like, if it can get to the point where here you are apologizing, when are you going to examine why you said it in the first place?
Right.
Because the first thing I would say is like, why were you even leaning that way, saying shit like that you got to apologize for? What was the incentive? Because clearly you're saying now that you believe in these other tenets of protecting black women. So were you lying then, or are you lying now?
Right.
Whichever. Are you saying the thing to fit in now, or are you saying the thing that was gonna fit in? Like, what was the true you? Because if you don't know your motherfucking self, you never gonna be able to stand up. And you got to take the slings and arrows of standing the fuck up. I'm like, it's not no hero shit, but there's times where I'm just like, I have to be fine with niggas not liking me.
Right.
Because I think what I'm saying is right. And love to me is not lying to motherfuckers. And I don't feel like it's a gender thing or anything. I think just because of patriarchy and the way the life is set up and who made the rules, of course, the vast majority of the time you look at a situation, men are going to be either benefiting from privilege or just wrong. Like, it's just, it's like was looking at race, like the vast majority of the time. Now, that being said, I call balls and strikes. There's times where you see something where you're like, black women was wrong for this. A great example.
Right.
Great example. Even after other people had written this motherfucker off, the sole people that were keeping his career alive for R. Kelly were black women. I would not ignore that and be like, I would see people try to like do some weird math to flip it into like, no, it's not really our fault. But it's like, I'm not saying it's every black woman, but you look at the fucking concert, that's what he got left. It ain't white
Right.
people no more. It ain't a bunch of dudes up in there. It's mostly black women, and they're the ones advocating for him to go free and calling these girls fast and all this shit. That's an inner community problem and whatnot, but it's still, that's the way I saw it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, because I don't ever want to pander a lot of people because I want to be me. And me is the person that goes, yeah, that's not right. It doesn't matter that y'all are women. Doesn't matter that y'all black. You shouldn't do that. That's wrong. But the same fucking thing, same energy when it's some shit like Megan Thee Stallion, this shit got two sides. To who, nigga? You? Because you the only people that's saying it got two sides. I ain't seen nobody else express no two sides of this shit. It don't got to be a fucking debate. So it's just fucking stupid. But um, it's interesting to see people say stuff like this because in my heart, I want to believe that it's possible for you to be like, oh, I was out here fucking up and now I want to do better. Now I see how I was fucking up and won't let that happen again. I just need to see the work. I don't believe.
Time will tell. Time
Yeah,
will tell
it's
because
too convenient to just
right,
say it.
right, and because people are people, something else will happen, and everybody gonna look at you and be like, "Well, where are you going to stand on this situation right here?"
Right. So just like I said, you get because now you're gonna get fucking applauded for just saying I was fucking up in the first place. But something else is going to happen with black women in hip hop because hip hop is as much of an example of misogyny and patriarchy as any other art form in America.
Agreed.
And being that it comes from our culture, there something else will happen. So the next time, what's it gonna be? You know what I'm saying? Because you think it's gonna be the last time a rapper does some foul shit to a woman that's a rapper or some shit? Like, nah. And if we got to go through this again, then I'm looking at you the same because I don't know. We've run out of fingers to count how many times Joe Budden has issued an apology when he was wrong about some woman shit. I don't know how many times y'all gonna keep falling for it. All right, so yeah, I give it 100. Karen, I'm sorry, did I get your score?
I said Jakaris.
Okay. New York school apologizes because they served watermelon, chicken, and waffles on the first day of Black History Month. A food vendor in Rockland County, just outside of New York City, has apologized after they provided lunch for children at a school celebrating Black History Month that was deemed to be insensitive. Students at Nyack Middle School were offered chicken and waffles with watermelon for dessert on February 1st, the first day of the month that honors and triumphs the struggles of African Americans throughout U.S. history. The menu is said to to have elicited confusion and anger from some students, together with their parents, who saw the menu as reinforcing negative stereotypes about the African American community. They were asking people if they want watermelon. I remember being confused because it is not in season, said student Honor Santiago. The school's menu even stated that the day's meal was to be Philly cheesesteak, broccoli, and fresh fruit, but for some reason the menu was changed at the last minute. When Santiago got home and told her mother, they were both outraged by the message and they believed it sends to the school's Black students. I didn't think the company was capable of making us feel bad, especially the kids of my color, Santiago said. If they had served chicken and waffles by itself, I don't know that we would be having this conversation, but the moment you added watermelon, that changed the whole complexion, literally, said Wilbur Aldrich of the Nyack NAACP. The school's principal said the menu was changed without the school's knowledge and noted the food items chosen reinforced negative stereotypes concerning the African American community. The offering of chicken and waffles as an entree with watermelon as a dessert on the first day of Black History Month was inexcusable, insensitive, and reflected a lack of understanding to our district's vision to address racial bias, the school wrote in a letter sent home to parents. They said they were contacting the officials to insist on a mechanism to avoid a repeat of the mistake. The vendor has agreed to plan future menu offerings to align with our values and our longstanding commitment to diversity and inclusion. We do one of these at least every year. I'm not gonna go hard on the babies. I think they the babies and they have internalized the anti-blackness of the world and think that something wrong with our food and that celebrating our food during our fucking month is somehow racist against us. Which, if you've ever eaten fucking tacos and enchiladas and shit for Mexican history, and nobody complained, why is that? We don't go through this for no other culture. When it's Asian American appreciation or Asian appreciation or Chinese New Year and they serve Chinese food, I've never seen no motherfucking article in the paper about the shit. But somehow we get to the black shit, we got to go to the news and tell everybody that they tried to give us delicious food that we love to eat, delicious food that be in our households, delicious food that has the traditions around it. And every single time I can't help but just say this comes from our discomfort with our own culture. Because I bet money there's a black person at the food provider who thought about this as a way of being inclusive and said, let me show my love through my job and include our stuff within the program. And every time we flake the fuck out. Every fucking time. Not, I shouldn't say every time. Every year we have at least one flake out. I shouldn't say every time because there's probably a bunch of schools where they had this meal and everybody was like, God damn, that chicken slapped. I wish we could have that shit every day, but we only gonna get this once again. I'm gonna enjoy it. You know, I would have been in that motherfucking cafeteria with like, oh, you offended? Mind if I get your chicken? You know, pass that Texas Pete. Yeah, you it's mad. Yeah, it's fucked up. But yeah, I feel like I arrive at the same fucking
Yeah,
thing
and like I said, I feel the same way you do, and I know people feel various different ways about this, but I'm like you, I'm tired of it. I have two scores. I have a zero and Jakars. I have a zero because who gives a fuck? You
right,
know, if you have a problem with watermelon and chicken, that's your personal problem, not mine, because it's just food. It's shit that we eat. There's nothing wrong with the food itself. The food
mhm,
itself is not the problem. The problem is how we feel around these foods. And
right,
you know, a lot of people, because of white supremacy, we just assume that if people serve us this, all of a sudden it's racism. You know,
right,
and everything is not racism, y'all. It's just not. Everything's not racism.
right.
And I give, you know, 1,000 for I mean a Jakaris, because it's like I'm like you, this is stupid. What about the people that were looking forward to the watermelon? What about the people that were looking forward to the chicken? Like right, so what about the people that planned for this? What about the people that didn't mean any harm for this? Everybody act like just because somebody do a chicken watermelon combo, all of a sudden it's goddamn racist. And that's the shit that really pisses me off. It just makes me angry. Like, you know, and my thing is, yes, there are things and things that can be presented in a racist manner and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, but the food itself is not the problem. It's the things around the food that makes it a problem.
Yeah, I think it's funny because, like I said, when I remember in middle school we used to have like international lunch week, and every day the first of all cafeteria, all these people look forward to it, and we would learn about like cultures and stuff, and then we would go to eat the food. And when we would go to eat the food, every day would be a different country's food, a different culture's food. And it's never like a great example of their food because you know it's still
You can
cafeteria
only do
food.
so much in the cafeteria, right?
Yeah, it's Italy, but it's the same square pizza you get all the time with the chunks of pepperoni on it. But
Right.
the point being, like, no one ever said they were making fun of those cultures.
Mm-mm.
It was always seen as like honor and inclusion. It's only when it comes to black people that were like, it is impossible to honor and include us. It can only be mockery. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah,
what is.
because of our sensitivity.
If we won't examine that, then why the like the only reason that they should stop this is because people won't examine their internal biases that make it so that it is impossible to honor black people. That's what you're telling me. What you're telling me is to honor black people is you need to serve some white food and then say this is for Black History Month. You know, like, hey guys, we just any food. Honestly, we brought egg rolls and lo mein because any food is black food as far as we're concerned. We don't want no problems. But we just want to say happy Black History Month. Here's some tacos. Leave us out of it. And it's just, I don't know. It's like I'm tired of this shit, man. Like,
Hmm.
I think I learned more about those kids' homes and how they view blackness and black food than I learned about the cafeteria, the people that work there.
Correct.
So anyway, I give it 100 as always. It's gonna always fuck with me, and
Mhm. Same.
yeah, I just see it differently than a lot of people, and I'm fine standing with that. I think
Me too.
they still haven't shown me the solution to honoring black people through food that doesn't turn into they picking on us. They must be making fun of us. Like, well, if you can't figure it out, then fuck it. I guess we never get to have black food. We can only have black food on the days it's not meant for black people. Like, Hey,
Thanksgiving,
guys,
Christmas, New Year's.
happy Columbus Day is fried chicken and watermelon and waffles.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll eat it today. I'll always bring up this story, but it just reminds me of that time that I was at work and I was in my own head at this job, and this white dude came over to me because I got to my desk before everybody else. I got to work early, and this white dude came over to me. I was sitting by myself, and he walked directly to my cubicle and was like, "Hey, Rod, it's a watermelon in the break room. You want some?" And I said, "No," because in my mind it was a silent. You think every black person wants some watermelon? Honky, in my mind. And then as all my coworkers started coming in, he walked over to them. Hey, Catan, there's some watermelon in the break room. You want some? Hell yeah, shit, watermelon. Catan, who's Southeast Asian, he gets some. Ask the white dude, Joe. Hey, Joe, got watermelon break room? Oh shit, watermelon, let's go. Suddenly I realized I'm the only motherfucker that ain't got no goddamn watermelon. Everybody's eating delicious watermelon, just dripping from their motherfucking mouth down their
Yes, all that
chin.
sweetness.
And I said,
Fingers getting sticky and shit.
this will never happen again. My internalized anti-blackness and racism meter combined to block me from getting watermelon. Because then when I finally got, down to it, I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to swallow my pride. Everybody looking the other way. I'm going to slide in there and get me some watermelon. Gone. Watermelon gone. And why was the watermelon gone, everybody? Did I work at a job with 97% black people? Absolutely not. I was like the only black person in my department at the time. So why was the watermelon gone? Because everybody likes fucking watermelon.
Right, like everybody likes chicken.
Ain't nothing racial about it. Everybody likes watermelon. Get the fuck out of my face. All right, we're done with that. Last one. Miami. You know the city. You heard about it. Well, apparently they got mocked because they put out a new police vehicle for Black History Month. That's right. New police vehicle is dropping. New
shit.
New police vehicles out here. Call 911. How the DJs used to do.
Yes.
Except it's just 911. It's not like call 917 865.
911. Talk to the operator. Tell them your emergency.
DJ Blue. Bluminati.
The Miami Police Department unveiling a special vehicle just in time for Black History Month.
That's right. The police chief and members of the Miami Police Department unveiling the first Miami Police Black History vehicle. It took place earlier today at the Black Police Precinct.
This part, they're just saying former president and director of the LDF NAACP Legal Defense Fund, Sherilyn Eiffel, tweeted a response. This cannot be. So I guess that's weird that the news isn't even doing its job of finishing telling the news. Just showing people.
They're not gonna tell. So there's somebody edited this. Like, this is not the article.
Here's what prominent Negroes had to say. They were upset. But yeah, of course. Meet this breaking news. But of course, it's extremely insensitive. The funniest thing I saw was a Twitter account tweeted it, and then they put "sound of the police" under it.
That's the sound of the police. The sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police.
That's fucking hilarious. That is funny. That's funny.
I just don't want anybody, slamming my head up against the back of a cruiser right next to Martin Luther King's face. You know what I mean?
It is some power fist on there.
Right. Like, we ain't just got to be scared of the blue. We got to be scared of the red, black, and green now.
They wasting taxpayers' money. They're going to peel that shit off.
They're going to be beating people's ass, but they're going to be doing it in the Black History vehicle.
Dude on beat. Boop, boop.
Get on the ground, nigger. Get on the ground and appreciate this Black history. Okay. Oh,
We're
man.
doing this for you.
This is
Black History Month.
MLK's dream. It's funny too because I did tweet. You know how the New York the Empire State Building, it turned the colors green and white for the Eagles going to the Super Bowl, and then red and white for the Chiefs. I tweeted at them. I said, "Can we get some red, black, and green for Black History Month?" And they said, "Oh, we got you."
Oh shit!
So I guess I fuck with the Empire State Building now.
Come on, Empire State Building
cool.
representing.
Okay, we getting that red, black, and green. We love to see it.
Love to see it.
0 to 100, Karen.
it gets 2 scores. It actually gets jacars because you're wasting taxpayers' money on some shit that's gonna be pulling niggas over, and people gonna hop out and whip their asses. So that gets a jacars. And then it gets a another score. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna give it a 25 because they one of them things where they're trying to do something, but it's terribly a bad idea. Like it's just a bad idea.
Okay, yeah, I give it a Dracarys. I think it's terrible. It is funny as fuck though. I just imagine
another reason why it's a 25 because it's just funny. So I'm like, okay, I'll still fuck with it, but it's just funny. So 25. But on the other end, it's like a motherfucker Dracarys. Like the fuck is this? You wasting my taxpayer money on this stick and peel, this scratch and sniff thing. So what if I'm gonna scratch it and I'm gonna smell shea butter? The fuck is this?
Yeah, it's just the idea to me of how much comedy could be had with a sketch about this car. It's like it feels like an idea out of a sketch that somehow became real life.
You know what?
If they pulled back and said this was the Chappelle Show, I would be like, oh, Chappelle Show's back.
You know what this is like? This is like some shit they were doing Reno 911.
Yeah, exactly. It's very Reno 911. Yeah, maybe even South Side or something like.
South Side would be great. I can see them revealing this shit.
Yeah, and with that 90s African American color palette, I just imagine the shit being like them pulling black people over, but they playing music from the 90s and shit. Like just like instead of the siren going off behind you,
good night, and them going right through the neighborhood, and them getting clowns driving that car.
Instead of when they pull you over, instead of hearing the siren come on, you just hear very loud, like slow down. Slow down. Oh fuck! It's the Black History cops. Pull over, man. Damn.
Pull over. Or you be riding around and play that, get your head to the sky. Keep your head to the sky. Oh shit.
Yeah.
You
put your hands in the sky.
Right. It was like shit. It's 6 a.m. Them happy ass music.
You can live
as
long as you keep your hands in the sky. Put them up. Yeah, I just picture all of that shit. But oh man, let's wrap it up with some guest the race, and we'll get out of here on this. Here we go. What time is it?
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
All right, guess the race time. We go around the globe, guess the race of people involved in all kinds of activities. And the chat room plays along, Karen plays along, and they're all races. The first article, a mother sneaks into Arlington High School to watch her daughter fight and now faces possible criminal charges.
What? Okay. We sneaking in the high school to watch the babies fight? The fuck is this? What's this, baby MMA?
A mother of a freshman student sneaked into Arlington High School on Tuesday to watch her daughter fight with another freshman girl before the first period. The mother, according to Arlington Central School District Superintendent Dr. Dave Moyer, was not authorized to be in the building. The mother can be heard in the video of the fight using vulgar language to encourage her daughter to beat the other girl. Sounds like it was some beat that bitch ass. Yes. The district did not mention the incident to the school community until an email was sent late Tuesday evening. The communication told of the fight and indicated that school officials and the Dutchess County Sheriff's Office were investigating the matter. There's investigation ongoing. No pending charges against the mother or either of the two students at the moment. According to Moria, the clothing and size of the parent allowed her to enter the building amidst a large group of students that were entering the building. So she looked like a kid,
like a child, right?
according to their footage and security. He said, while our security team does an exceptional job of supervising points of entry during arrival, the parent was able to blend in with the students. She was wearing a backpack, so she thought this out. She wanted to look like a student. She is also visible in
She
the
come
fight.
in looking like a parent.
Right. She's also visible in the fight video, standing right next to the feuding freshman.
Oh, you think something gonna be wrong with everybody? Like, y'all niggas need to get the math class.
Moria said the incident will result in a review of the school's procedures. So now they got to redo all the safety shit.
Right.
So, all right, Karen, guess the race of the mom.
This is black. Like, this is very this is very frustrating. But you know what? Shout out to the mama looking like she was a teenager.
Okay. Some would say black don't crack, so maybe that's
apparently it don't.
Okay. Well, the chat room says you better not come home till you beat her ass black. If you lose, I'm gonna beat your ass when you come home black. Mama 6 years older than the daughter black. Damn,
oh
Jen.
no,
Latino. Mom brought the Vaseline, the brass knuckles, a Gatorade black shit. Sounds black to me. Too close to the action. Megan White. Wearing pajamas to Walmart at 2 p.m. Starts getting ready for the club at 6 p.m. Black don't crack. She looked young enough to pose as a student. Black. I'm going to beat your ass worse if you lose. Black. No eyebrows. Latina. Black eating watermelon, chicken, and waffles. The correct answer is she was, and I believe Karen said it. She was black. You got it right.
Is she over there in the blue coat?
That's her, yeah.
Oh my goodness. And the part of it the part of it is so fucked up. The parent needs to be charged with trespassing because you have no business here and you are not here, you know what I mean, on the behalf of your student, anything like that. In fact, you tricked us to get your ass in here in the first place. And my thing is, you talking about students fighting, so you talking about lawsuit. Like, it's more to this than you just encouraging your child to fight.
And of course, I gotta boo the people that got it wrong. Now they didn't release her name, so you know, some people, it's possible she could be like Afro Latina or some type or something, but I don't know. Look black to me, and her daughter looked black. So, all right, let's go to the next one. A cafe owner kidnapped an ex-worker with his hand in the till, and then called the man's mom.
That you kidnap your worker with your hand in the cash register? Ain't that what till mean?
Mm-hmm. This comes from Australia. A cafe owner has admitted to kidnapping a former employee and holding him for ransom after finding him with his hand in the cash register.
You can't do that.
Yeah. Ann Gao, NGO, I believe that's how you pronounce it, 37, is the co-owner of Mama Hong's Vietnamese restaurant in Lane Cove. In Sydney's leafy Lower North Shore, which became the setting of a dramatic and bloody workplace dispute last year. In March 2022, she and her business partners noticed money had been going missing from the business. To get to the bottom of the mystery, they decided to install motion-sensitive CCTV cameras to alert them if someone entered the premises or out of hours. They were alerted to an intruder at 9:15 p.m. on March 22nd. Her and her two partners who happened to be nearby, or her two partners who happened to be nearby, walked into the business to find a former kitchen hand with his hand in the register, trying to retrieve the money inside. The ex-employee had copied the cafe's keys and snuck into the business every few days to steal from the register. What? The owners estimated he stole about $2,500 from the business over a 2-week period. According to the agreed facts, her partners grabbed the former kitchen hand and assaulted him and cut his hair. After hitting him several times, the court documents revealed the partners retrieved a car and shoved the victim in the back seat. They then collected her from a suburb in Sydney's inner west before driving to the victim's mother house in Chatswood. There, they went to the mom and said, resolve it, you know, without having to go to the police.
What kind of What kind of books do y'all got? I mean, do y'all count one order, skip one order? I mean, what's happening? Is it dirty money? I mean, you're like, we don't even want the police involved in the shit we doing.
The victim's mother was not at home, so she called her to tell her that her son had been stealing money from the cafe and comes in every night to pilfer from the business. He has taken a lot of money. If he don't give it back, I will take him to the police now. His mom agreed to pay the $2,500 and asked for video footage of her son stealing from the business. She sent her business bank details, a still image of the CCTV footage inside the cafe of the victim with his hand in the till, and a photo of him bleeding from the nose in the car. So you know you meant business. Like, also, we done fucked him up.
Around.
Once she was satisfied the money was paid in full, they drove the victim to a park and they cut the cable ties securing his hands. Cable ties? Oh my. They was about that life.
What? I'm trying to tell you. Something about that place don't sound right.
Yeah. It's some Breaking Bad shit.
They was counting one meal and skipping one and counting three and skipping two. Something not right.
Gus Fring on this place. Gal will be sentenced later this year after pleading guilty to taking and detaining a former employee who stole $1,000 from her business. She also pleaded guilty to related charges of common assault and assault occasioning actual bodily harm, which will be taken into account during sentencing. She was granted conditional bail while she awaits sentencing, which requires her to report to the police 3 times a week and not leave the state. She's also forbidden from contacting the victim's mother, and her bail was secured by $100,000 bond, which costs way more than the money that person stole from her. So, all right, Karen, guess the race.
Asian.
Karen's going with Asian in the chat room. I don't know why they ain't called one of their gangs to handle the thief. I've seen the movies Asian. I didn't know I couldn't do that. White. Sounds like Yakuza to me. Asian. X-tried Chinese. Finally, my people made it to guess the race. Asian. It's a banner day for Mary. She's like, finally, I feel included. I just been feeling nothing but racist for months. I didn't know I couldn't do that. White, model minority, but also 10 toes down Asian. You go nowhere Asian, but I could be wrong. Skipping Miss Smarts. I want to stay on YouTube.
We gonna stay on YouTube.
Dim sum yum, and the correct answer is Asian. Y'all had it right. It's interesting that she's the one who's in trouble, but her two partners seem like they started the whole situation with the beating them up and kidnapping them. And maybe she was the mastermind. Like, they called her later to rope her in. Like, I wonder why the story's only about her. We don't see any of those other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But man,
that's more glad to meet that. You would literally have been better off doing what you had planned on doing. It not even taking them, just sitting them there. Nope. Hold on. We're gonna call the cops. They're gonna come and get you.
Should have just called the cops, dog. You know,
wouldn't have been here.
Should have just called the cops. All right.
It'd have been cheaper. Even if you went and got your money back, it'd have been cheaper.
Yep.
Bitch was white. I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to get
Gold
the
teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big dive, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
So we haven't really covered this story on the show, mostly because it's low-key white people news, but also just kind of like too popular for Guess the Race. But Brian Koberger is a guy who's accused of massacring some students in Idaho while they like slept in their rooms.
Oh, at their college?
Yeah. So, okay. You know him.
Mm-hmm.
A Kentucky woman has professed her love for him.
What?
Brittany Hislop has written a series of Facebook posts professing her love for the accused murderer of 4 college classmates, gushing that Koberger is the perfect man for her. If by that she means
that That sound
being
like
in
that, man.
prison and unable to harm her, I guess.
Right. Like
Uh,
that just sound like a fetish or a kink. Like I don't
mhm.
understand. It doesn't make sense.
She said in one post, my love interest is named Brian and is accused of murder, and I just wish to connect with him above anyone else. She wrote, so this is one of her posts. Some people may not understand that with Brian being my love interest that I'm fixated on, I don't think of being with others in the ways that I think of being with him. And thoughts of being with him also give me sensations that I wouldn't get when thinking of someone else because I have deep feelings for Brian and I'm fixated on him, although I don't know how he feels about me. And if there's someone else he wants instead, even though that wouldn't be ideal for my divine masculine counterpart to be that way. Although, when I have thoughts of being with him in certain ways, it gives me bodily sensations that are real. Although you may not understand what I'm meaning, I also feel a love for him that isn't just sexual in nature. As I've me know before, the mugshot of him that I added hearts to and a pair of lip stickers.
Oh, you crazy. I am. That's the fuck I'm in right now. What the hell is happening? What is happening right now?
Oh, that's a great point, Karen. Oh, yeah. I mean, what do you do with this? I like if this is your child and this is what you raised in the world, and you see this on your Facebook. I don't even know what you say or do at that point.
Mm-mm.
Throw the whole child away.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, you crazy.
Yeah. She added, one way to describe my feelings for him over the last week or so is kind of like being lovesick. Well, it's definitely sick. Also, you always notice they always believe in like love at first sight because there's nothing else to love about this man other than he
You don't
murdered some
know
people.
them. Right. You
Allegedly.
don't know them.
Yeah, like there's no like it's not like, oh, he's famous and or he was huge on TikTok and you fell in love with him via the internet because he showed you so much of his life. It's like the only thing you know is he's a suspect in this murder and the police video of them pulling him over. That's what you know.
Was enough to light your fire.
Oh my God. Now if you're her ex, you gotta feel great.
You feel like, woo! I
No,
am so glad I missed that bullet.
no matter how it ended, whether she broke up with you, you broke up with her, whether she cheated on you, whatever it is, you should feel amazing right now. Like I could not compete with that because what I wasn't fitting to do was
It's
go out and
commit
commit,
murders for her love.
quadruple homicide just so she would be into me. Like, fuck that. She started posting her passionate letters January 4th, just a few days after he had been arrested at his parents' home. Um, the single Kentucky mom who has a 16-year-old son. Oh, poor kid. Oh God.
What? So now your baby got to deal because this is the internet. It ain't like it was back in the day. Your baby, your mom out here talking about that dude.
Baby ain't got a chance.
Right? It got to be fucking embarrassing for the child.
She pointed out that her and Kohlberger had some things in common, such as their astrological signs. Both are apparently Scorpios. I feel so bad for y'all that's in the zodiac right now because
Right, because you was like,
I know y'all don't want to be
this is not
identified
the
with this
time.
shit.
This is not the time for you to pull out the moons and tell me
Yeah.
that somebody's in retrograde. Don't nobody care about that right now. Murders was committed.
She also claimed they have similar birth charts, making him her divine masculine counterpart. In another IG post, she referenced the strange love scene between Jason Patrick and Jamie Gertz in the vampire movie The Lost Boys. She said, although it's not very explicit, I'd want to be with my love interest Brian in those ways. He's been charged with murders and all this shit. We know that. All right, Karen, guess the race of this woman.
Oh, 100% white.
Okay, Karen's going with 100% white. All right, well, the rare 100% white. Gasping white woman. The dates have 15% survival rate. Desperate as fuck white woman. Half of my mouth gate missing, aka teeth white. I know the bitches. I know the bitches white. White tasted, white weirdo. So white she's translucent. It puts the lotion in the skin crazy white. Love at the lockup white. White. That's M's mom.
Oh no.
That's Eminem's mom is so good. Check the basement for bodies. The
Oh no.
correct answer is white. Yeah, it's sad too because she just looked like a regular white woman. And it's so,
Right. Just
like,
just living her normal life. We didn't know. We didn't have to know all this about you, baby.
like you almost expect to see a picture of her and be like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
like,
with the crazy eyes or something. We
like
ain't getting
y'all
that back.
all have worked with a white woman that look like this.
Yeah. She like somebody working in HR department, an AP department.
You just don't be knowing what their Google search is. You just don't know what they into. They don't read too many of those Amazon Kindle $2 my axe killer werewolf husband or some shit. You know, you don't read too many of them.
They done bumped that to reality. That's fantasy, baby.
Right. And now she out here like, oh my God. And I feel bad for the son and whoever the baby daddy is, because y'all ain't got a chance. Ain't got a fucking chance.
Ain't got a
She out
chance.
here on the
You was not gonna win her love unless you was willing to commit these murders.
right. Like she out here on Candace Owens' internet just telling everybody that she gonna bust that thing open for a serial killer. Just what?
What is happening, right?
What? Who are your exes, man? Charles Manson? Like,
right?
Like, she was like, oh, you man, I couldn't get with that boy that shot up the Black Lives Matter rally. So
you was next in line.
Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse, he out here in these streets. There's too many hoes to compete with, but I'm gonna lock this one down. She's gonna get a reality show that's gonna be called Love to Death Row, because it's not gonna be love at the lockup.
No,
it's gonna, maybe
there ain't gonna be no after lockup, and so that means you ain't getting out.
Honestly, I'm surprised somewhere A&E listening to this show like, we just got $1 billion idea.
That's an idea. Yes.
Love to Death Row. If it don't exist already, I guarantee you somebody just came up with Love on Death Row.
If it does exist, you know Justin watching.
We're just gonna go find all these crazy people that just want to fuck these murderers and shit. So oh boy. Anyway, let's get to you eating her food at the potluck.
No, I'm gonna say
now you know there's a 1,000,000,000% chance she got cats all up on her counter, dog. Go ahead.
Yes.
All right, sword ratchet.
Walking all around her colander. Ain't that what they call that big black pot?
Mm-hmm.
Talking to the mirrors. She in there talking to the mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the craziest of them all? It's always gonna be you, baby. That's what the mirror gonna tell her.
An Iowa woman is accused of attempting to kill her husband with a sword.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is from Hawkeye, Iowa. I guess she was trying
that
to.
tickled me. You said Hawkeye. I was gonna say, what is Hawkeye doing? You said Iowa.
She trying to be an Avenger.
Apparently so. The whole town is Hawkeye, Iowa.
She struck him several times in the head with a sword. Her name is Kim Renee Cannon, 58 years old. Guess the race, white. Of Hawkeye, she was arrested and charged with attempted murder in Wednesday's attack. According to the sheriff's office, deputies responded to a home in rural northeastern Iowa. Well, isn't it all rural? Anyway, I don't know anything about Iowa. That was just an assumption.
It's called Hawkeye. It's in the middle of nowhere. I guarantee you.
According to the sheriff's office, they responded to the home at 8:29 p.m. They found a 70-year-old man with severe cuts to his head.
Oh,
the victim.
They did that.
Yeah. The
Look
victim,
at that mugshot. They did that.
She ain't sorry. The victim who was found in the bathroom of the residence.
Looking like I do it again. Where are my arrows?
The victim who was found in bathroom of the residence also had lacerations on his face, and one of the injuries had cut through the man's eye socket.
Goddamn! Woo!
Yeah, she really she really socked it to him.
Oh, she really cut to the white meat.
That's not one, but fine.
I told you mine don't got to make sense.
I know. You just want to hear the sound. You got it.
Yes. I got to join in on the fun. I know somebody just went, Karen. I don't care.
I guess they couldn't see eye to eye.
I guess I didn't see it coming either. So I see eye to eye.
Yeah, he had a lot of ocular nerve. So then they said he was in the bathroom. He had lacerations on his face, and one of the injuries had cut through his eye socket. Then deputy said Cannon was discovered sitting on the kitchen floor, covered in blood, with 2 bloody sores next to her, like Leonardo the Ninja Turtle.
Oh shit!
She said they had gotten into a verbal altercation, and that Cannon had struck her spouse several times to the head. It was unclear what led to the argument. What could it? Probably. Can you put the swords down? Damn.
I mean, goddamn. I mean, she had one for the right hand, one for the left. The fuck?
Probably something.
No
like,
hand is gonna be emptied.
It was probably something like, and what the fuck you gonna do with that? That's probably what led to the.
Yeah, that's what led to the fight.
You ain't about to do shit. Oh,
word! I ain't about to do shit.
They said they argued. She left the room. She returned. She struck him in the back of the head. And then after she left the room, she allegedly returned with a second sword and struck him in the back of in the face. In the front of the face. The victim was taken to the front and the back. The victim was taken to the hospital.
That's really a two-edged sword.
That is one. Hold on. Yeah,
she looked at him and did that Michael Jordan face. Oh, I take this personally.
She left the room like Cam Newton when he had to get his helmet and go back and win that game.
With his head, with that towel on his head. Okay, all right. I got your bitch. That's what happened. I got your bitch.
He was taken to a hospital treated for life-threatening injuries. She was arrested and she is booked in the county jail.
I bet she said, "Oh, you got the right one today." Or maybe the wrong one. It don't matter, right or wrong. You don't want one. That person. If somebody said you got the right one or you got the wrong one, just know that either one of those answers is bad for you.
Yeah, the right one and the wrong one is the same one in Black lexicon. It's never.
It took me a while to put that together as a kid. I was like, I got the right one. I got the.
This
is bad.
Apropos of nothing. You know what I was thinking the other day was. The term caregiver and caretaker mean the same thing.
Yes.
That's crazy. Anyway, that's all. All right, y'all. We'll be back later on in the week with more podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in live with us. All y'all that be in the chat hanging out with us. Appreciate your live questions and all that stuff. If you're premium, don't forget you got pregame and balls deep in your queue this week. So make sure you check those out. And until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye everyone. Bye baby. Talk to you.